Bubba the Menace McDaniel began his professional fighting career in 2005, eventually making it onto FX's The Ultimate Fighter and later the UFC.
That was it. Fighting was my life. That was absolutely it.
Now, nearly 2 decades later, Bubba's finally getting the fight he's always wanted.
It's always been the dream to have it in Wichita Falls with the actual professional MMA show.
Saturday night, June 24th at the K. Yeager Coliseum. And at 40 years old, he said he can't think of a better way to close out his pro career.
This will be my last hoorah for MMA, you know what I mean? And we've been waiting for so long to have MMA here. I'm glad to be able to send it off like this.
Bubba's last MMA fight was in April of 2018 when he won by TKO in the first round.
I didn't know that was my last fight.
Now, more than 5 years later, he's finally stepping back into the ring one last time.
It's real tough to be away from something for so long that you love. You know, you feel kind of like a piece of you's gone.
But as Bubba prepares to return to the octagon, he can't help but think of another piece of him that's gone.
I wish he was here. I wish every day he was here.
It's something he just can't help but think about as he gets ready to return to MMA.
Heck, right now he'd be 7, you know? I wanted to watch him play baseball. I wanted to watch him run, things like that. I wanted to teach him how to fight.
After Wilder died, Bubba took the fight out of the ring right to the steps of the Wichita County Courthouse. For years, he was at the forefront of a movement that captivated the entire city seeking justice for Wilder. There were dark days when that fight seemed like a lost cause. That is, until a Monday morning in March of 2023.
1,614 days. You know what I mean? The end result finally came.
The man accused of his son's murder, James Irvin Staley III, was convicted and sentenced to life behind bars.
I had about a day or two of, excitement is not the word. It was kind of like I actually got to take a breath.
But while Staley was on trial in Fort Worth, Bubba was back in Wichita Falls. He didn't have the chance to witness the trial, and he's still not sure how to feel about that.
So they said there's no knowing what would have happened with me. It's a good and a bad thing. It's good that I didn't hurt the trial, but it's bad that I was robbed of being there.
He can't go back to see his son's killer brought to justice.
That's far past now. There's no being able to rewind time, sadly.
And it wouldn't bring Wilder back anyway.
If I could rewind time, it wouldn't be to go back to that. It'd be going way farther.
He's just glad the verdict came back in favor of his son.
It's a good thing that I didn't take anything to my own hands at that point. It's a good thing that everything that did happen, God's intervention. Like I say, I'm not real big on God right now. I'm real hateful with him right now. And that's just being honest. But somebody's looking out for me.
As Bubba prepares for his first MMA fight since Wilder's death, Bubba's wife and Wilder's mom, Amber, is getting ready for a fight all of her own, not in a cage, but in a courtroom. The legal battle to decide her punishment is set to begin in a few short months after she pled guilty to charges related to their son's murder.
I always go back to, how the hell did you let this happen?
Bubba and Amber McDaniel lived every parent's worst nightmare when their son Wilder was murdered in October of 2018. Back then, they weren't together, and Amber had been in a relationship with James Staley III in the weeks before Wilder was found dead inside of his home.
Do I think she knew that he was being abused as such? No, I don't think she thought it was that way.
Later, in 2021, Amber was charged with endangering a child and tampering with evidence in relation to her son's murder. It's led to yet another outcry for justice for Wilder, with some going as far as saying that she deserves the same punishment as her son's killer.
People are hard on her. People are real hard on her. I was hard on her too. I've been real hard on her at different times. There's nobody harder on her than her.
And during Staley's trial, she took the stand to testify against him. And with no plea deal on the table for her pending charges, she was doing so at her own peril.
If you were there through the whole time that she was on the stand, you got an actual feel for what was really happening to her on her side also, instead of just, the one side that people are going to react the most to.
Amber's testimony painted a clear picture of the brief and volatile relationship she had with Staley.
People are manipulated a lot. People are in bad situations a lot and stay there for a very long time. This was a very short time.
Their lives changed forever in October of 2018, and Bubba knows that Amber will never be the same.
Amber died a long time ago. The Amber that everybody knew died, and I mean died. That is not the same person. She is a shell.
Losing Wilder brought Amber and Bubba back together, and out of that tragedy came new life.
When we had Phoenix, it's the first time I was like, oh, she's taking a real breath again. The only thing that's put life back in her is that child. She's a great mom. But now it's her turn.
Amber is eligible for probation on her pending charges, but she could be spending significant time behind bars.
She's going to be a great mom still to this child. No matter what happens, we're going to figure it out.
Neither of them know what the future holds. They're just hoping to find a way to move forward.
People are like, oh, how could you forgive her? How can you this? How can you that? She's the last living link of him.
When Bubba steps into the octagon on Saturday night, he'll be fighting in his son's memory.
But we made a Wilder corner for the fights.
He knows nothing can prepare him for that moment.
So standing in the Wilder corner as I fight my last fight there, that's going to be trippy. I don't know exactly how I'm going to feel, just knowing there's a lot that's going to be never known.
The older brother, his son will never know, but that makes Bubba all the more thankful for Phoenix.
To have a what you call third chance. I should count my lucky stars on that.
This time around, he's not going to miss a single moment.
It's so much fun to just watch him grow up. Him at the gym right now is the funnest thing because he runs over. If the girls are doing battle ropes, throwing those up and down, he grabs ropes and picks them up with him.
Life truly is a gift, and whether it's one last fight in the octagon or one more chance to be the best father he possibly can, he's not going to take it for granted.
Hopefully I can, make it happen with Phoenix, man. Be an even better version of what I was trying to be for Wilder.